Hello, welcome to Big Purpose Mastermind. I'm your host, Scott Wilhite, and you are here. Well, if you're here for the right reason, anyway, if you are someone who feels like you have a calling, a mission, a life's work to accomplish, what I would call a big purpose, and you're trying to figure out how to do that, that's what this mastermind series is about. Hopefully, we can share some things that are going to help you out so that you can accomplish your big purpose and feel fulfilled and really make the difference that you know you can make in this world. So this week, of course, is Lisa Nichols week. So excited to bring her to you. If you are not familiar with Lisa, oh my goodness, awesome stuff, really cool things. By the way, if you missed yesterday's episode, um, anyway, you'll probably want to go back and watch that. It talked about her and it talked about her origin story, where she came from. We're going to talk a little bit about that today, but really anyway, we go more into depth on that. Today, we're going to talk about overcoming obstacles, and she's going to help us kind of reframe our mindset, because really it's all about our mindset that helps us get out of these. The other way. She's going to talk about tomorrow we're going to study about how she's using video to accomplish her big purpose. On Thursday, we will talk about her innovative video strategies, and on Friday, the clarity she has on who she is serving. Okay, so I just want to get you super excited about that. If you have missed previous episodes, whether it's from this week or previous weeks, make sure you go to schoolofhumanity.tv. I'll just bring this over here, and you can catch all of those sessions for free. It's just kind of like my private YouTube channel. Anyway, it's really kind of cool. Schoolofhumanity.tv. Love to have you there. So with that, let me just share a few things with you. Actually, I got to be super honest with you today. I'm feeling a little low. We got news late last night that a girl in my neighborhood had been killed in a car accident. Just graduated from high school. Her and her friend were in a car together. Somebody else was also killed. Tragic how quickly life can change. And we're going to talk today about overcoming obstacles and about how we can shift some things in our lives. We can make the same kinds of dramatic shifts that in some ways are tragic for others, and for us, hopefully they will be remarkable in how they can get us out of the blocks and feeling stuck and feeling trapped. And I just love what Lisa Nichols does in helping show that. If you caught yesterday's episode, you see that she has a habit of living her now even in the future, or living her future even in the now. Anyway, she didn't wait till all these things changed for her to have joy and happiness and this abundant life. She started creating it even though the circumstances of her life didn't really allow for that. It's just remarkable how she has transformed her life, and you're going to see some of that today. So anyway, before we start with that, I want to just start with the quote of the day. And this ties in perfectly to what we're talking about today. What lies behind us and what lies ahead of us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. From our friend Henry David Thoreau. Okay, you probably picked up yesterday on identity, how identity is this huge thing that we don't realize. It's how we look at ourselves. It's how we position ourselves. What we believe in ourselves actually manifest. Now, Lisa Nichols was one of the great speakers, presenters, interviewers on the movie The Secret, the documentary, which was all about the law of attraction. And anyway, she did some remarkable things in there, but it's so much about what we believe. It's about this identity we give ourselves. And when whatever we believe about ourselves, that becomes our box. We're going to talk a little bit about boxes today. If you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, ask them in the chat. Love to answer them live for you in whatever you need there. So with that, let me just jump over here to Lisa's interview. Man, we've got some really cool stuff with her. Okay, so she started out with a lot of challenges. Holy cow. We're going to start at 2:24. Let me just share some of this with you. And what I love about her is she is so honest and vulnerable. She tells us exactly what she's feeling, where she was at, and I think that's just remarkable. So let me share just a little bit of this interview with you.
Change that none of us saw coming. There's nothing realistic about Nelson Mandela leaving prison after 27 years and leading the largest forgiveness movement ever. There's nothing realistic and logical about even my journey. Born and raised in South Central Los Angeles, having 3 fights a week just to get home from school, being told that I was the weakest writer my teacher had ever met, and that I should never speak in public by my speech teacher, to looking at my life today and going on and having a child before I got married and getting on government's assistance just to feed my baby, not having money to buy him Pampers, and wrapping my son in a towel for 3 days until I can afford to get money to buy him Pampers. I look at my life and I wasn't supposed to be who I am today. Something turned, but it didn't come from outside. It didn't come from my culture or my community. It came from within.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it right there for a minute. I love that she shows up. She recognizes her life at this time, and this is many years ago, has transformed to what she thought was possible. She was talking about education. She worked so hard to get an education in kind of the formal sense. But what an education generally does is it limits us by what we believe. And she recognized when she graduated out of there that she was still held down by these limiting beliefs, and she wanted to get rid of those. And so she's going to share a little bit more with us on that. But I love that she shows up just as this amazing new person, and she is talking about dreaming big. Now, look at the difference of her in kind of more recent years to where she was. I mean, she's still on that transformation, but she shows up as if it's already happened, and she invites us to come along with her. She invites us to make that transformation within ourselves. So let's jump right now. There's another section I want to show to you at 125 here. About right here.
I look up, and for the first 10, 15 years of my adulthood, I struggled. I struggled because I didn't dream big enough at that time. I didn't know. I felt like my dreams were.
Now, I just got to stop right here. As she's talking and sharing her story, what she's doing, she is a master of influence. And so she is helping us understand what we can do for ourselves. She's sharing about her struggles. She's sharing that through a story so that we can connect with her. And when she gets to that solution bridge, that the idea that will get us as well as her over that gap of pain to get to the solution we want, that's where she really makes that difference for us. But she does that through a story, and I love that she shows up real and authentic about where she really was, and she owns it.
And smothered with the cultural limitations were defined by who our parents were, what our culture can do, what our community can do. So you look at all the areas of our lives, financially, mentally, emotionally, family, geographically, and all of those things kind of put us in a box. Some of our boxes are this big, so we think they're amazing. Some of them are this big, and we know they're choking the life out of us. The reality is.
Okay. So she's talking about these boxes, and these boxes that she's mentioning are our belief systems. And sometimes we feel like we have a pretty big box, and we believe we have a big purpose, and we believe, good things about us. But you know what? That's still a box. Maybe it's even a bigger box that we have available to us. But if you are in a smaller box, maybe you're feeling very limited by your circumstances, by your ability to reach the right people. Anyway, those are still boxes. And if we can get rid of those limiting beliefs that are keeping us within and be able to get out, that's when we can emerge and truly be who we were meant to be. So I'm going to close with her. I have one more little section that I want you to listen to. She is a master of transformation. And so she is sharing that with us and giving us the tools that we need to be able to get out of the small confining boxes that are limiting us. So here's one more section.
Didn't fit. It didn't fit realistic. It didn't fit practical, and it didn't fit logical. I didn't know how I was going to get there. There were no examples of how I would get there. There was no instructions. There was no GPS. And there wasn't even anyone around me that had an idea of how to help me.
She had a dream, though.
Was my intuition.
That intuition.
My internal GPS. My internal God placement system, and the will and the desire and the big dream inside my belly. And I was willing to keep at it until I birth something greater than myself. In order to live the life you love,
Here we go.
And love the life you live,
Pay attention.
you have to be willing to step on the other side of normal, on the other side of where people give you permission to step. You have to be willing to step on the other side of realistic. You have to be willing to dream big and give yourself a radical chance for a radical future and breathtaking possibility. It starts with you.
It starts with you. I'm just going to back it up. It starts with you. It starts with your belief system. It starts really with your faith in yourself and your circumstances, the world around you, the universe that's here. It starts with what you believe there. And I love that she has shared that in all of her speeches. So when I first heard about her, I was in one of the lowest points of my life. I was so struggling. Oh my goodness. And I remember I would listen, put some headphones in and I would listen to her speeches, her presentations, her talks. And she was so encouraging because she had been in the pit where I felt I was at that time. And she was showing me how to get out of there. But it was all about faith. It was in believing that God can help you, believing that God does have a purpose for you, and that you have a song within you that only you can sing, that only you can bring this world, that only you can make that difference with. I believe that's true. I haven't totally figured out it for myself, honestly. And so that's why I love watching her as an example, because I think, well, she started before she was ready. She started before she had her full transformation. And look how many people she was able to help and influence during that. Okay. Absolutely remarkable woman, Lisa Nichols. Check her out. We're talking about her all week. We're going to evaluate all different aspects of that. If you have missed previous sessions I call sessions, I like that, from our mastermind, make sure you go to schoolofhumanity.tv. You'll be able to catch all the great people: Meg Johnson, Les Brown, Marie Forleo, Mel Robbins. We had Clint Pulver actually live interview. Oh my goodness, that was so awesome. Hope you check that out. But you can find that at schoolofhumanity.tv. Yes, you have a calling. Yes, you have a life's work to accomplish in your life. You can absolutely do this. And I just want to encourage you to be the best that you are, to show up as you are, authentically, warts and all. Actually, there's one last thing I just wanted to mention. Okay, as we go through all of these different mastermind things, hopefully it can get rid of some of those limiting beliefs. I was thinking just this morning about a woman that I coach and how she had other coaches tell her that the reason that she wasn't finding success on video was because of her eyebrows or because of makeup or something like that. And I thought, just what a load of rubbish. And to be taught that by different people and to have those limiting beliefs put on us, oh, how confining that is. I so love that I'm able to share with you all of these different masters of influence and the different tools and techniques that they use and how they show up. And it's not their eyebrows, and it's not their speaking ability, and it's not the camera work. But it's this remarkable thing that they've figured out who they truly are and how they're able to serve and show up with other people. You can absolutely do this too. And with that, go make life better.